Before we start the show, let's hear from one of our sponsors. Their support keeps this show free for you. Hey there, Peace and Parenting family. If you love the podcast but wish to enjoy it without interruptions, your wish has come true. Introducing the ad-free version of the Peace and Parenting podcast, available exclusively on Apple Podcast. As a subscriber, you'll get all the heartfelt advice, parenting stories, and actionable tips you love without any ads. For less than the cost of a coffee each month, you will enjoy uninterrupted listening while also supporting our work to help you build stronger connections with your kids. Try it out for free. Simply find Peace and Parenting on Apple Podcasts, click Try Free, and you'll gain immediate access to our ad-free episodes. There's no commitment and you can cancel anytime. So if you're ready for a more peaceful, uninterrupted listening experience, subscribe now. Let's keep focusing on connection without the distractions. Hi, I'm Michelle, a mother of 2 teens. 13 years ago, I traded in punishments and rewards for connection. Now I prioritize relationship over behaviors, utilize play as a parenting tool, and set limits with empathy instead of consequences. Each week, I share my journey and interview clients, experts, and followers. Thanks for joining me on the Peace and Parenting podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the Peace and Parenting podcast. I'm Michelle, and I have a lovely guest, Cammie, who is our brand new Peace and Parenting coach. Welcome to the show, Cammie. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me on.
I'm so glad you're here. So wait, first of all, just tell us, where do you live? How many kids do you have? How old are they?
I am in Washington State near Seattle. I've got 2 gorgeous kids. I've got Archie, who is 6, nearly 7, and Flora, who is 2 and nearing 3.
Yay! We love it. So just before we get to you becoming a coach, let's just talk about, what was your journey like into the start of Peace and Parenting?
So I'm going to kind of go back to when I had Archie. I knew that I wanted to do something different. I just didn't know what. I thought I had in my mind what it would look like that would be different from the way that I was brought up. I knew I wanted it to look different from that just because I knew it wasn't the right fit for me.
Yeah.
And that it didn't feel good in that space. So I knew I wanted to be different. I just wasn't quite sure what that looked like. And I kind of organically, through having Archie was one of those sleepers that woke every 45 minutes. I was sure I was doing everything wrong. And turns out he is my big feeling kid who is always going to be my big feeling kid. And he needed something different. And so that ultimately led me to find connective parenting. And I found you. The Instagram algorithm hit me. I found your page. I found your podcast. And I fell deep into the work. It was such a good fit for us. And I had been a longtime follower and listener of your podcast, but I felt like I probably just needed that bit more in terms of coaching from you all. And so I reached out to you and enrolled in the CPM.
Nice. And the CPM is the Connected Parent Mastermind. For people who don't know, it's our group coaching program. It runs all year long, and we have 3 meetings, live meetings per week. And now Cammie is going to be running her own meeting, and the coaches run each of their own meetings. What differences do you see in your children and in yourself having done this work?
So in terms of the growth, I have, Archie, he's my big feeling kid. And I have learned kind of what works for him in terms of getting his big feelings out. He tends to kind of hold them inside, and then they can come out in a big meltdown, or they can be something that comes out little by little through laughter and play. Yeah. And that was something I used to really try to draw on, getting him to feel the feelings through what I pictured as tears and screaming and just kind of letting the feelings out that way. But I learned through the CPM and with the coaches that maybe laughter also releases feelings. And that has been such a game changer for us, because he can be on the brink of, wanting to go into sort of aggressive behavior. And there are ways to kind of bring in play that get him to the laughter to let his feelings out that way. And then we're back to a connective space and we're just back to that, cooperation with each other. So that was something that I have really taken away that I didn't have before. And it's a tool for us that we're using all the time. With Flora, it is, she's gone from being, oh man, practically like a baby when I started this process to now she's full on toddlerhood. And she comes to me to let her feelings out. She's at the moment, it's very different. Archie tends to run away. He wants to kind of be alone because those feelings feel a bit scary to him. And with Flora, she is totally embracing the need to have those feelings with somebody else. So it's been really special to see her not kind of move away from it, but lean into it.
Yeah. So good.
And to get clarification, I think without this guidance, without the coaching, I might see their personality differences as one is hindering and one is the quote unquote right way and the other one's the quote unquote wrong way. But what I've learned is that it's different. They both have their ways of processing. And then I have my way of processing. And I've just learned that it's all okay.
Yeah.
Whenever they work through it, it's okay.
All normal, right? It all is very normal. There is no normal, really, actually. Yeah, so good. Before we continue, let's take a moment to thank our sponsors. Their support lets us keep bringing you the show completely free. Are you sick of the sibling fighting? Are you tired of asking your child to do the same thing over and over and over again, only to end up using threats and bribes to try to get them to cooperate? Well, it doesn't have to be like that. You can learn the ideas of connection through our Connected Parent Mastermind group coaching program. We meet 3 days a week. Myself and my 2 coaches hold meetings. We also give you access to all of my online materials, meaning 10 modules of instruction, PDFs, podcasts, and my book. You get to join our school community and interact with coaches and myself and so many parents who are doing this work just alongside you. So if you're feeling stuck or if you want to accelerate your connected parenting practice even further, join the Connected Parent Mastermind. Click the link in the show notes for more information. Hey there, Peace and Parenting family. If you love the podcast but wish to enjoy it without interruptions, your wish has come true. Introducing the ad-free version of the Peace and Parenting podcast, available exclusively on Apple Podcast. As a subscriber, you'll get all the heartfelt advice, parenting stories, and actionable tips you love without any ads. For less than the cost of a coffee each month, you will enjoy uninterrupted listening while also supporting our work to help you build stronger connections with your kids. Try it out for free. Simply find Peace and Parenting on Apple Podcasts. Click Try Free and you'll gain immediate access to our ad-free episodes. There's no commitment and you can cancel anytime. So if you're ready for a more peaceful, uninterrupted listening experience, subscribe now. Let's keep focusing on connection without the distractions. Okay, back to the show. Okay, so you did the CPM and then you did our first cohort of our Peace and Parenting certification program where I helped people learn the ideas of connection through the lens of a coach. And so tell me what you thought about that process.
Yeah, I jumped all over this. I was in a period of transition where I had recently separated and was looking at what life would be like with me having to sort of be able to support the kids and also just trying to set up a world that allowed me to have that work-life balance. And my background is in adult education and training. That's where my master's degree is. And so working with adults comes quite naturally to me. It's what I like to do. So when you put out the call for the certification course, the light bulb went off. I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is for me. And so I immediately signed up, and man, it was just like another elevation of this work and what it means to be in this space connecting with your kids. There were so many things that I was able to just take to another level and get clarification on that has allowed me to be this parent. And it's not perfect. I still make mistakes, but I've also learned not just through the CPM, but through the certification course, what does that look like? You know, when you have a misstep, we're all going to have missteps. What does that look like? So learning it through the lens of being a coach, it just immensely helped my parenting and also how I feel about my kids and how I feel about myself as a parent.
Yeah.
So,
What do you tell me about the program? What did you like about the program, or what was good about it? What were the highlights?
oh, the highlight for me for sure were the other participants in the program and being able to share with them. I know that we were all on the last day. We were all sad.
I know.
We were all sad, and we've shared our details with one another, and it'll be cool to kind of see where everyone goes, you know, having completed the certification course. But it was a real camaraderie in a way that kind of, I suppose it's like a small group because it was a small cohort of us, and just being able to bring any questions we had. It was such a safe space. One of the things I loved most was also practicing and doing a bit of role play with the listening partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
That was really powerful and allowed us to really sit in the space of what it would be like to be a client who is experiencing that listening partnership. I also really liked the way that it was set up, that it was sort of, we had a week to be able to go through the module, which wasn't a huge workload. I'd say I'd spent about an hour-ish outside of the course, reading, going through the modules, and then integrating the homework into parenting and stuff. So that way we could come together in the group and talk about how it went, share your experiences, and clarify anything through the modules. So it just had a really great flow that wasn't overwhelming and allowed you to really comprehend the principles of peace and parenting.
Yeah, that's so good. I think too that camaraderie, even for me, like being the coach in it all, I was like, it felt really special. I don't know if it was just because it was the first cohort. I don't know if it's just always going to feel like that, but it felt very grounding, and everyone was so authentic and bringing their best selves, and everyone, you have a level of certain person who wants to be a coach, right? Who wants to study this stuff further, who wants to spend 12 weeks of their time like doing this work. It's a different kind of person, and that person is, those are my people. I want to hang with those people, parenting nerds, like that's just lovely, very lovely. Such great, great, great people. And so now what's your journey now? What are you doing now, Cammie?
Well, I am incredibly grateful to have been brought onto the Peace and Parenting team as a coach. I cannot believe the full circle of this experience. I mean, I keep thinking about like taking in your content through Instagram, podcasts, to then being in the CPM, to now like I get to lead my own group. What?
Yay!
Like, is this real life?
Yes.
I'm
Cammie gets her
so,
own group next week, February 4th, everybody, on a Wednesday. She gets to do her own group.
I'm just so grateful that I get to do what I'm so passionate about, and that I'm living in this world where I have kids, young kids. Like I'm in it. I'm in it
Yeah,
every day.
you're in it.
And it's hard. And the fact that I get to share that with others and encourage them, and if I can impact someone to let them know they're not alone and that they are everything that their kids need, I just like, it's fueling me right now in a way that I didn't know I could be fueled about a job, if that
I
makes sense.
know. Yeah, totally makes sense. I understand you on all kinds of deep levels. I felt the same. I still feel the same. But I remember when I first started working with clients, and I was like, wow. After meetings, I would be like, oh my God, I feel good. Like I felt good going to work. I still do. When I meet with clients, it's like my most favorite thing. And so you feel like I don't know, some sort of energy, I guess,
It
talking to
is.
people. Yeah.
It
It's
is.
it is
And
a
clients, coaches, um, being part of those groups, like you do really walk away with the feeling of like there is a certain energy in those groups and a certain camaraderie and knowing that you're not alone and being able to share. Like it's just such a special space.
It really is. I get energized like I'll be tired and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do my group today. I'm tired. And then I'll get into my group and I'll be like, oh, I love my people. They're so sweet. And they're all, the lovely piece of this work is that everyone's trying to be a better person, which that's who I want to surround myself with. People who actually want to be better people. Those are incredible folks. And we're so blessed in this community to have so many of them that are doing that.
And I think you're right. I think people come to this work wanting to be a better parent, maybe to fix things for their kids. And then they realize, there's nothing to quote unquote fix. It's all about your perception. It's all about connecting with your kid and also connecting with yourself. Like, I think that that's something you don't expect is how much you're going to learn about yourself and what you're bringing to the table as a parent, and having to unpack some of that and heal some things that haven't been dealt with. It's heavy at times, but so rewarding. And I think you just feel so much lighter and so much more fulfilled.
And I feel like I've become a better person. I'm more patient. I'm more empathic. I'm kinder. I'm more introspective. I'm definitely not perfect, but I'm way better of a person than I ever was. I'm a better friend. I'm a better partner. I'm a better sister. I'm a way better sister than I ever was, which is incredible because I wasn't a great sister, and I'm a better daughter. I'm a better person.
I'm a better person in the community.
Yeah.
When somebody flies by me on the freeway, I immediately I wonder what's going on for them.
Yeah.
Just
they have some generational trauma they're dealing with. They'll be fine.
Just take it. And oh my gosh, what if we all walked around with
that's what I say. This work could change the world if we allowed it. If we get big enough, if we get strong enough, this work can change the world because the world needs changing. We all know that right now.
I have never felt more hopeful about that with the generation that we're working with.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it's heavy in spaces of the world right now, but when we look at how we're listening to the next generation and the more people do this work, I'm just so hopeful for what could be.
Yay, Cammie, thank you. Thank you for being in the CPM. Thank you for being part of Peace and Parenting. We're so lucky to have you. I'm so excited for you to start your journey as a coach. For any of you who are interested, the certification is coming out this week. So you can sign up for the certification. We're doing a cohort in February. I would love to see y'all there. And the CPM is always running. We love to have folks join our group coaching program because it is a lovely, lovely place to be. So those links will be in the show notes. And thank you, Cammie, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for all of this.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.